Hey guys, welcome to the new episode of Talk With Me on this channel. I'm so excited about this episode because it's something that I had been wanting to do, and I'd been doing this when I was on radio, and I can't wait to be your shrink, okay? Brainstorm on your love and sex issues. So what you need to do is send an email to talktojuicyjane@gmail.com if you've got burning questions. All right, be right back. Now, last week I asked you to share with me some of the issues that you might need my opinion on, and I got a couple of messages on my community page that I would be sharing right away. And we have a mail here from Corey Bonnet that says, "Hello Jane, I could use your advice on this issue. I have someone that I love emotionally, intimately, and as a person, but she doesn't stimulate me sexually anymore, and that scares me. To make it more challenging, I am to marry her for 15 more blessed years. What should I do?" Wow. Now, Corey, first off, why are you so sure about the exact number of days or years that you're to marry this woman? I mean, it's very strange that you say 15 years. In any case, according to your message, she no longer stimulates you sexually, right? And that's to say that she once stimulated you. The question now is, what changed? What has changed? Or who has changed? How long did you notice this change? And have you talked to her about it? Of course, there is nothing like that fire you feel when your relationship is fresh, it's new, and you're so attracted to your partner, it's hard to keep your hands off each other, you know? But over time, for some people, the attraction fades and the novelty wears off, which is it's a very normal part of being in a relationship. But for others, the sexual attraction disappears completely, and it can be tough to overcome. But the question is it normal? Is it worth ending a relationship over? It's normal to lose sexual attraction for most couples. It is also important to understand that losing sexual attraction happens to most couples as we move on with our normal lives, because decreased attraction is very common as time passes in relationship. It's not always going to be roses all the time, year in and year out. It's not always going to be that. And trust me, Corey, you have a lot going for you since you say that you're emotionally and intimately connected with her. You emotionally and intimately love her. There is a possibility of reawakening that spark in the bedroom. All right? A decrease in sexual attraction to your partner happens when your needs and your expectations are unmet. So maybe your sexual expectations have become so high and your woman doesn't even have an inkling. So if she's not meeting up, or she doesn't even know that she's not stimulating you sexually, everything she does, everything she would ever do to you will be less pleasing to you. And when this happens, you will no longer feel an attraction to her. You will no longer feel as attracted to your partner as you once were, which is a natural response, as you would find yourself pulling back. Do you get what I mean? So you need to speak to her about it, but not in a way that makes her feel bad, but in a way that seems like you really want things to work and flourish in your relationship, and you're not saying that. So the question is it possible to get the spark back? Yes, it is. It is totally possible. But first, you must realize what caused the decreased attraction in the first place. And a good place to start is to make a commitment to spend more time alone together. What you're experiencing is decreased attraction, and decreased attraction has to be replaced with affection, a sense of humor, and intimate communication. And it's also important to note that it takes two willing people to get things open again, to get things going again. And you both need to create ways to communicate that you want to be close to each other. And need I also state that over time, sex may be less about having orgasm, but instead the focus should be on pleasure. As unromantic as I may sound now, I would recommend that you start scheduling sex and try some new stuff in the bedroom to spice things up. And don't make it about your spouse or your girl or your woman, all right? You should also bring the spice to the bedroom. Don't let your pleasure be solely dependent on your woman. You can teach her on how you want to be pleased. The different ball game altogether is when she doesn't want to learn. Then that's a different ball game, and I can understand that. All right? I can understand that totally. When you have a partner who is not willing to listen to what pleases you and act upon it. So if you've tried all of those things and you still don't feel anything sexually stimulating about her, then you may want to make the decision to let her go to a man who would love her totally. That's if you're not married, and who would love her wholesomely, in a wholesome way. You don't want her feeling totally out of place because you don't find her sexy. That's the worst life you would ever create for a woman during those 15 years. So if you really do love her, you would want to make it work. So find ways to make it work. Okay? I'm sure you can. It's not something that you cannot do. As long as the love is there, as long as you're emotionally and intimately connected to her, because how can you be intimately connected to her and you're not sexually connected to her? I don't know how that runs. Okay, let's move on to the next message that we have, and it's from Gucci Chain. He wrote saying that I just got out of a situation where a girl I dated for 2.5 months betrayed me and dished me for another dude in a very disrespectful way. She told me one day that she needed a break, then 2 days later she was posted up with another dude on social media, then a day after cut me off and said she has a boyfriend now. The worst part is that I have seen her all the time and sometimes talk to her. After a couple of months of grieving, I'm trying to move on, but it's been hard in terms of trusting other women and always on the edge. This is not the first time I've been betrayed. I always assume a woman is about to betray me. I have become bitter, and my love always turns into hatred and pettiness towards the people who do me wrong. What should I do? What should you do, my darling? What should you do? First thing, you need to forgive. Forgive, learn to forgive and let go. Have an understanding that not everyone that we date is eventually going to be the ones we end up with. Look, we have all been betrayed, hit below the belt by the ones we once loved. It happens to the best of us, but we never choose to stay down in our pain. We felt the hurt for a time, for a moment, but then again we give time the chance to heal us back, and we're right back on track. And as soon as we get back, we give love a chance again. Same thing goes for life. Life beats you down, but you don't stay down. You get the hell back up and you keep it moving. That's what life is all about. The woman who betrayed you obviously is living her life, living her best life out there with her new boyfriend, and you're still wallowing in the mud. It is time to let go and rebuild that trust with the understanding that not every woman is going to be as heartless as your last girlfriend and leave your heart broken. Plus, the world is not always going to be good to you, so you may just need to give room for the not so fun part of life. The biggest mistake you are ever going to make in relationships after now is carrying your trust issues everywhere you go. And when that happens, you will drive everyone, every good people, every good person who really do have good intentions for you and truly care about you. So don't allow one's lack of sensitivity towards you deter you from seeing the larger futuristic picture. That's giving one human being too much power. Keep your life moving. Things happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people. Listen, our circumstances only shapens us, but we decide, truly decide what mold we would like to be put in. So forgive her, because that's the first step to healing your broken heart and moving on. Each day at a time, baby. Take it that way, each day at a time. Enjoy new possibilities. Enjoy new beginnings. The world is too big and too beautiful with billions of people in it to be tied down by one girl who couldn't see your worth. So don't give up too much of that power to her. Nah, bruv. You're doing too much injustice to yourself. You deserve better, and more often than not, our biggest miracles come right after the darkest moments of our lives. So stop being bitter towards those who haven't, who have, or who haven't even wronged us. Give room for humans, because humans are only good at being imperfect. And trust me, when you give room for the frailty of humans, your betrayal level will reduce drastically. Your hurt level will reduce drastically. Your expectations would reduce drastically. All right? I hope I have helped you. Go on and love again. So I will give you the best way to get over someone you once loved but betrayed you. And this is not just for Gucci chain, but for everyone feeling heartbroken. First, you need to come to the point of acceptance. You cannot heal from something if you don't accept the hurt. So please accept that they don't love you as much as you expected, or things aren't going your way anymore, and that just means that it's time to move on. Also realizing that holding on to them, wanting them all the time, and trying to figure out all the what ifs will not make any sense at all. So just basically avoid things, places, and people that bring back their memories or anything that is related to them or what you had experienced with them. Avoid them all for a while at least. Alright? I know you're tired of hearing this, but time is the key. You need to be patient when it comes to healing, mostly when it comes unexpectedly. One moment you're in love, another moment they become a stranger to you, and that's okay. Things happen for a reason, so give it some time. Give it some time. Alright, let your heart take time to process everything. And after weeks and months, you will look back and be proud of yourself for making it through it all. And then that's when it's important that you learn how to turn sadness into power by transforming your brokenness into something productive. Because when a person is heartbroken, he or she becomes so many things. So it's a crucial time to find yourself. Sing, dance, write, work out. Find your passion and work through it. And just keeping yourself occupied and working on yourself in this period. And love yourself more. The only person you need by yourself forever is you, yourself. Always prioritize yourself first. Have your self-talks. Do self-care. Spend time with yourself. Love yourself. Sit with your friends and family only when they are not toxic. Start spending time with people. Get to know more new people. And lastly, I just want to say that the most important thing which is left behind always is that you don't try finding the old you. Instead, let the new you grow. Trust me, I know that the trauma of heartbreak can sometimes dig deep inside the soul. Because at the early stage, we can't completely get over someone we love. But surely, we can overcome those broken feelings to an extent. But only if we're willing to build ourselves stronger than ever. So move on and live life peacefully. Maybe you aren't healing because you're trying to be the person that you were before the trauma. That person doesn't exist anymore. Stop trying to revive that person because a new you is born. A new you is about to be born. Breathe life into that person. Breathe life into that new you. It's one thing to strive to get back on track, but it's a whole new different thing to try to be the same person that you were before the trauma. The trauma will always be part of you until forever. Just like all other memories of our childhood or of our experiences. Do you get? That's trauma. Our trauma changes us. Even just a little bit, it does. So understand that you can't be exactly who you were before the trauma. You need to take time to accept that and let yourself heal before trying to get back on track. Don't rush yourself into this process. Don't look back either. Just keep going. Alright? And with this, I say thank you for watching. And if I didn't treat your issue, don't worry, because I'll be back in the next few hours with another episode of Talk to Jane. Mwah.